It's online. There we go. Okay, so this is where we are at. Look at that. That is a beautiful sculpt. Frozen, that is wonderful. Your friends are always welcome here. So, since last time, Muffin, Bob, and Steve got a little bit of a facelift, so to speak. We worked on getting the skulls a little more defined, and I have to say I'm actually really happy with how they're going. Come at you. Hello, hello. Glad you could make it. Just give you guys a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to be jumping in and out in probably about 10 minutes real quick, just because I got to go cook some food, and I'll be putting stuff on the stove, starting fires, and then coming back. So I will apologize in advance because I have to. Also, it's worth noting that this is going to be the last stream for about a week. I'm taking a little trip, gonna go get some R&R, but I will be back on streaming next Friday. So not this Friday, but the following Friday, and we'll pick it up. So I'll take a little break. Good time to go back and catch up on content. So okay, so let me set a timer real quick because I gotta start cooking some junk in 10 minutes. So I will do that, and then we'll jump in and get started. So just in case you haven't been able to join us for the last few weeks, or last week, we just started last week. This is the Wither sculpt. We're doing our own version of a Minecraft Wither. When the Wither is right there. There's the Minecraft Wither, right up in the corner. Little boring, little blocky. So figure we give it our own spin and touch it up a little bit. So hopefully by using anatomical reference, which you can see in the background. Captain Jack, welcome. Danjet, hello, hello. You'll see I have some skeleton reference in the background, and then on the overhead cam you can kind of see some of the anatomical references. So ideally, by actually taking our time to pick through the details, we'll come up with something that looks pretty cool. So on that note, let's just kind of figure out what we're going to do tonight. So what I was thinking would be good for tonight, I mean, we really could go any direction we want. We could keep trying to work on the skulls, but the back feels a little anemic to me. So I feel like this is good for spine reference. I don't know if I really want to go counting vertebrae on the back to try and pace it out, but we do want to get at least something a little better. And I don't know if you can kind of see, but where's a tool? I should do this. Help point. Right back in here, you can kind of see that the neck is a little kind of meh. The attachments aren't really done that well. And I don't know if we're going to really be able to get it down to like just a really narrow spine. That might be a little too thin for the piece. So what we're probably going to do is kind of like maybe layer in some musculature to just cover it a little bit. And it'll look a little more fleshed out, so to speak. And it'll help cover some of the spots, because once you get up to the top of the spine and stuff like that, and you're talking about like the collarbone, those are like actually gaps and voids, and that won't hold up and mold well. So we'll take a little bit of creative license to it. So Mihaku, hello. Speedy BK, hello, hello. Trying to keep a better eye as people come in, so we can give them a proper greeting. All right, so unless there's any questions, we are going to start some preliminary work. So I think I've actually ended up using a lot of my clay. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate it. I don't mean I've used up clay. I just mean like the wad of clay I've been working with. So we got to scrape off some more from the block. Oh, there's a ball of it here. Never mind. So materials-wise, if anybody's wondering, we're using Super Sculpey, firm gray Super Sculpey. Oops, I moved the camera. There we go. And the kind of the advantage to why we're going to do this is because then we can stick it in the oven and bake it out and and then actually have a master of it. Although I have heard people say that you should not use any ovens that you want to eat out of after you bake for baking super Sculpey. So I don't know if anybody else in here has any more experience with that, but that maybe I will appropriate my toaster oven and then just get a new one. So they're kind of cheap. All right. So looking at our reference, actually, I just stuck it under the camera like an idiot. Let's jump on the overhead so I can kind of show you. It's a little easier. So I mean, if you look, this is kind of our back reference for the spine, right? It's not like terribly exciting. You really should see the opening of the ribs, so maybe that's what we need to do, is carve those a little better under the rib cage. Maybe we'll start there by defining the shoulder blades, which look like they have... It's been a while since my anatomy classes, so pardon me for completely forgetting my education. But these ridges here probably need to be a little more defined. And then we'll just carve some spaces for the ribs. And maybe... I don't know, like, should we try and build up the spine? Yeah, we probably should, huh? We should probably actually try to add to the spine. Hello, hello. Brandon, always glad to have you in here. All right, let's go back to detail. Sorry. Ridiculously distracted. I took today off from work, but what that really meant was I just kind of was like stealthily dealing with emails and people and phone calls, because you can never leave. Yeah, Mihaku, it's not so much like whether the clay itself would be a problem. I think people just claim that Sculpey itself is a bit toxic, and I don't know if that is just sort of a misconception that people have. Let's see, I have the box of it right here. Let's see. Let's answer this question. Because if it doesn't say non-toxic, it probably is toxic. Notice, many modeling clays contain ingredients that may stain or damage finished surfaces. Do not place unbaked clay on furniture, flooring, carpets, or fabric. Protect blah blah blah, glass or metal disposed on wax paper and beneath your work. But don't see anything that's saying it will kill you to death in your face. Yeah, there's nothing that's specifically calling it out as toxic. We'll have to look into that. I mean, we're ways off from having to actually fire it and cook it, so... we're gonna have to start, it's too bad we can't have like a tally on referrals in here. Hey, Red Velvet. And MX True Killer, welcome. Killa, sorry. Okay. So where first? First things first. I think getting those shoulder blades a little more defined is probably a good start. We'll work that to get their shape a little better, and then we'll work our way down into the spacing for ribs behind, and then we can add the spine over the top of that, and we'll smooth it in. The other thing too is I went and I looked up a bunch of stretching fabric reference. I was kind of really not happy with the look of the look of sort of the attachment of Bob to Steve on their ribs. So I kind of found some cool pictures of people like ripping and stretching fabric to kind of get what the wrinkles look like, and I think we'll use that as a model for their attachment. I kind of want to make it look like that that Bob is a polyp. I don't know if you remember Total Recall, that he'd be like the Quatlu, or no, it wasn't Quatlu. Gosh, what was that? Was it Quatlu? Was that the little mutant add-on baby thing? Alright, let's see. This is just that ridge that was going across, so it looks like it kind of flattens out a little, like more towards the inside of the blade. The interior, right? Interior's inside, anterior's outside, right? I also was looking at some really cool, kind of comes up, huh? There's a little bit of a curve to it. I was checking out some different types of modeling clay, trying to figure out what's like a really good modeling clay to use for this kind of stuff. And what I found, there's a whole bunch of them. There's monster clay, which I actually got a chunk of as a gift for my birthday. And then that stuff's really cool. It's a mixed oil clay, wax clay. But there's also this stuff that's supposedly super fancy, and it's called CX5. It's like super duper duper fancy. It seems like it's very specifically made for small projects. Because monster clay, you buy, I think you can get like 5 pounds of it for like 30 bucks, 30 or something bucks, which it's not cheap, but it's reusable, right? Like that's kind of the whole point. The CX5 clay is like 15 bucks for a pound. So that's like a different number. I am intending, sorry, my brain has already started to shut off in preparation for my time off. Hey, Red. Yep, that's the dinner launch. Hold on. All right, I will, give me like 5 minutes. I have to start things. I'm going to go potentially cause a fire hazard. I will be right back. Give me just a sec. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, there we go. Hey, Sandy. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay. I'm just gonna set a generic 10-minute another one just in case, you know, go make sure nothing is completely on fire. Yeah, back to the back. Hey, McPoker girl. We got quite a full house tonight. Love it. So, kind of added those ridges there. Let's see. They need a little smoothing. What should I use to smooth them? Let's try the gray soft tip. And just, you know what? No, this is what the loop tool. That's our best sort of smoothing tool. In this case, we've already attached it. Man. Thanks, Red. Appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a bit. This is, I'm really excited for this one. It's turning out really well, and a lot of really awesome support from everybody that's been joining. That back blade shape is messy. What can we use to carve it out? How about our little loop tool? So, let's see. What are we going to do after the wither? I have no idea. I honestly haven't really even thought about it. I mean, it's interesting trying to promoting this as Minecraft game on Twitch has definitely got some people coming in to take a look. So, I kind of feel like we should do that again. So, I don't know if we should do another Minecraft thing, or if we want to try and like branch into something new. I mean, it would have been kind of cool to do something for Destiny, but man, that ship has sailed, I think. I think the time to do something for Destiny was probably the week before Destiny came out. I mean, that's always what's kind of difficult, right? You gotta kind of figure out what's the zeitgeist. I mean, I did have another project idea, but it's gonna actually require 3D modeling and a 3D printer. So, I don't know if that one's ready to announce yet. Was my hand blocking? Okay. Nope. Let's see. Hold on, gotta check on something. Bonk and bonk. There we go. Okay, again, sorry about that, guys. I'm like trying to juggle dinner. Okay, so yeah, we're just kind of carving up this shoulder blade. I think this is a little too high, right? And we'll probably kind of work in some gross to it. So yeah, the Ender Dragon is actually the idea that I have for the 3D printing. I have a process that I want to try out, and there's a good friend of mine, or I should say he's a good friend to me. I'm not necessarily a good friend to him, but he's a good friend. He's a good friend to just about everybody because he's a good dude, but he's actually thinking about getting a 3D printer, right? Actually, I think more than thinking about it, I think he's definitely going to be getting one. So we've been scheming of things that we can do that give it a purpose. Going to Mexico. What's taking you down to Mexico? I mean, last I heard, they do have the internet down there. And I don't think Twitch is region blocking. I'm just saying. And red, yes. Antos. We've had many a hallway discussion at work about what we could do that would be awesome. That wouldn't just be making useless desktop trinkets for amusement. I feel like this shoulder blade's a little too bulked. Let me raise the camera so my hand's not such a problem. So I don't know. I think if I'm directly challenged to do an Ender Dragon, maybe that's the case. I mean, the only thing is it's starting in 3D, and my 3D skills ain't what they used to be. I used to do that stuff a little more full-time and professionally, but it's been a while. I actually did some 3D modeling that ended up being used in video games and everything. Smooth that out. It looks so blocky. California heat? California, calm the F down. Oh my gosh, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had just this ridiculous heat wave. That was not cool. Okay, let's try just adding this spine. Let's make a... I'm trying to think how we want to do this. It looks like just a bunch of stacked, squished balls. So maybe we just roll out a bunch of them and then squash them down and stick them back there. Maybe that'll work. That's some dedication, Jesse, if you're taking the stream with you. Appreciate it. Try to calm it down towards the end of the night so it's put people to sleep. Although I don't know how good of a plan it is for content to be trying to put people to sleep. Maybe a bit counterintuitive. Horned Frog, Aki Red, Aki Redsa. Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, as it stands, I basically refuse to live anywhere that requires air conditioning for survival. Or a heater, for that matter. I mean, you get super spoiled living in Southern California near the coast, because it's quite a Mediterranean kind of climate, you know? Although that's not true if you go inland, so you can't paint California with that one broad brush. Because the 909, for example, the whole Inland Empire can get pretty terrible. Like Victorville and Riverside and all that stuff. Is that a little too compressed for a spine? It is. Okay. So I'm rolling out into little balls and then squishing them together, and it's uneven. So I almost think we have to do like little noodles all the way down, is what it's going to have to look like. Yeah. Captain Jack, you're on the other end of it, where in addition to whatever climate you have, you also live in a place where everything kills you. That may be slightly facetious, but if I'm not mistaken, Australia has the most number of toxic venomous and poisonous creatures on the face of the planet. Alright, so I don't know, we'll see how this approach goes. We can always just go get rid of this and carve it off if it's not working. I mean, the one thing I think we need to do is, as we create these noodles as they go down, that they're going to need to get bigger, because the spine starts to get bigger. Or the vertebrae, I should say. So there we go. And then this one, we're gonna sculpt this quite aggressively. So we're just blocking out. We're just adding some material on there. This one, I think I'm gonna take this off because well, no, kind of needs it. There we go. It's a little too thick. We'll actually sculpt that piece that's there, because it needs to attach into the skull a little further in than what this was doing. Wow, look at this. I am boss. Hello. Angel Locks. Hello. Did I miss anybody? It just came in? Alright. I need a tool that helps me lay it in. Where's our little dental stuffs? There you go. Oh, yeah, that other type of clay I was talking about, the CX, or the, yeah, CX5. It seems like it's more of a plastic clay. You actually have to heat it to work with it at all, otherwise it hardens pretty solid. But the amount of detail it can hold is pretty crazy. I mean, aside from being crazy expensive, but a project like this would actually be perfect for it. The guy that has it, like, does a bunch of sculpting for, you know, there's a bunch of, like, really high-priced, high-priority sculpting. He's had his stuff, like, where he did a sculpt of Matt Damon for the Jimmy Kimmel show. He's the one who did the Conan O'Brien as the, what is it, the King of Sweden riding a goose. Like, he actually did a sculpt of that. It's just crazy stuff, really detailed work. I mean, we'll see how far we can take details with this, and whether a limitation of the material or my skill will hopefully come out okay. Hey Georgia, K-Jax, welcome, welcome. I think the worst is if you're crawling into bed. I don't know if you've ever tucked your sheets in really tight, but I once when I went to pull the sheets up, I actually, like, my hand slipped and I punched myself in the face. Gave myself a fat lip. It's almost like, you know, holding your phone up and dropping it on your face while you're in bed. Which I may or may not have done as well. Should be using this tool to tuck. Look at that. Look at the difference that actually using the edges to tuck makes. Much better. Yeah, that looks much better. MC Poker Girl, what mobs have we done? This is pretty much the first one. I mean, unless you count like papercraft files. But it could be a really interesting sort of line to do. Do this, do a creeper, ender dragon, all that stuff. Although, very heavily risk being kind of put into a box of being a Minecraft sculptor. Which may not necessarily be bad, but then it may be difficult to do other projects. If you just get into gaming sculpting, then maybe that'd be a little less of, kind of the hands would be a little less tied. It was intentional. It made you drop your iPad. It's the power of suggestion. So, let's be careful because the size of the spine does not keep scaling up. It hits kind of a set size. And then they're pretty uniform through. And guys, let me know if it gets out of focus, if it starts getting in the way. Like, sometimes I don't pay attention like I should to the framing of it. I know I've done that before where I've just like, I'll start working something like really close and off the table. And it's a bad habit to break. Or it's a bad habit that I should break. There you go. Such a mellow downer song. So what happens when you write in the minor key? Okay, so for this, the vertebrae should actually kind of line up with the ribs. So we need to be careful about that. There's that, and there's that. Newian Scorpion, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying to do something a little bit different on Twitch. There's plenty of gaming on here. Plenty of people who play games and are a heck of a lot better at it than I am. So I figured I'd do something that I could do that would be worth watching, and hopefully that's what this is. And if nothing else, it's worth it for the community of people that have been showing up, because everybody here so far is awesome. Okay, so that kind of blocks out the spine a little bit. Up here is kind of but we'll fix that. An Enderman would be a really interesting one. It's like, what would you do for an Enderman? It's like, how do you take that creature in a direction that is even more terrifying, right? It's all about the eyes. So maybe something that's like shapeless or very amorphous on his, but has very, very focused and intense eyes. I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that. Okay. I have to go change something in a pan. I will be right back yet again. Hold on. Okay, I am back. I am sorry about that, folks. I had actually kind of burnt something pretty bad, so it was a bit of a panic mode getting it sorted. Okay, back to the back. It's funny, I've been running a little like graph on number of watchers and all that stuff while we talk, and so far every time I've gotten up it has caused a dip, so I will keep my butt in the seat until the end. My apologies. Human beings can actually go for weeks, if not, what, like a month without food? You can go pretty far. Okay, so where is that soft tip chisel? So I'm just going to start kind of shaping around it so that it looks a little less tacked on. Hey, Brian. Welcome, sir. I'm very flattered that you've been making regular appearances to the stream. I've seen some of your Deviant artwork too, sir. It seems like I am not the only artist in here. Actually, that was a very silly statement to make. I think just about everybody that's in here is an artist. That's why they're here. But that's besides the point. I've seen your work, it's cool. There. Should have said that. That chisel tip isn't really what I want. You know what I really want? I think I want a ball tool. There we go. Skid Plate Videos, welcome. Craftmaster MC, hello, hello. Just real quick, so we got some new folks in here. We are doing a wither sculpt and doing our own version of it. So I know, just want to make sure people are tuning in and know what they're getting. No bait and switch, right? And Nui Scorpion, yes, I do play Minecraft. Casually, not professionally. And yes, I also work for Machinima. Those are independent facts. Although I remember being at Machinima back when we saw some of the first versions of Minecraft, and that's pretty crazy. Remember, the first I started playing was right as multiplayer was introduced, and like, you couldn't even craft. There wasn't any of the survival stuff. It was creative only. You couldn't interact with other people either. And it crashed all the time. Do I play Roblox? No. I can't say that I have. You'll have to describe it to me. I'm always looking for new stuff. I have been playing a bunch of Minecraft mods through Feed the Beast. And Brian, yeah, like Sculpey is like fantastic. It's like if you're gonna get just one type of clay, get Super Sculpey. It's super worth it.